let the girl go out and work in Dubai, nobody would touch her. But here, not taking places, not generalizing things, but there are some places in India where things have happened in the past, and there's a fear that if the lady goes out, people don't actually look up to them with eyes of respect. And when that mishap happens, something bad happens, that actually takes away the soul, the heart. So sometimes you feel insecure, and that is why those statements come out that you should not work out in the home. It's not about restricting or stereotypes. Understand what is going on in their mind, what is their fear, why are they telling like that. So just generalizing and stereotyping, I wouldn't say that. However, there are some people who are cutthroat stereotypes that हमारे घर की बेटियां तो काम नहीं करेगी. That is a different story altogether. I don't want to argue on that. A message to all those men. 3 दिन घर मैनेज करके दिखा दो. Just manage the house for 3 days. I guarantee all the men who say that, what do you do at home? After the 3rd day, they would never say that in their life. Trust me, just 3 days. Manage the house for 3 days. They will just shut them out for life. And I would say, have as much fun as you want. Have as much masti that you want in your life. Just bear one thing in mind. Don't cross the line which you cannot reverse.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my podcast channel Men's Talk Town. As you all know that the channel talks about men's perspective on women. So the idea here is that I am trying to create a safe space not only for women but also for men, because usually we see that a lot of men, they also undergo trauma or stress when they are blamed unnecessarily or for wrong reasons. And why does that happen? It can be miscommunication, it can be taking advantage of undue situations, so which even women do at times. Our conversations try to bring out their mentality, men's mentality and thought process, so that bridge is created between man and women for clear and better communication and a cordial relationship. So on my channel today, I have another eminent personality. Please welcome Mr. Sagar Amlani. Hi Sagar, how are you?
Hi, how are you? Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. And I've met Sagar through Professional Speakers Association of India. And I think it's been almost a year or maybe more than 6 to 8 months that I've been trying to contact him. Of course, he's been keeping busy and sometimes his schedule is on off for both of us. So we couldn't. But finally, I'm so glad that you could make it and we are here. I'll straight away dive down to your introduction and I'll quickly introduce Sagar. From slums of Mumbai to the Vice President's chair, Sagar Amlani is one of the top 10 professional speakers and best-selling author. With 18 plus years of experience, he empowers individuals and organizations through his signature AIM, that is AIM framework, to build the productive mindset. He's been a LinkedIn top voice for 23-24 and honored as a global Indian under 40. Sagar has built an influential presence in the industry. Beyond consulting and speaking, he coaches leaders to build their thought leadership and digital reputation on LinkedIn, helping them establish a strong presence and influence in the digital world. So that's amazing, Sagar, to know about you. So while we also talk about your journey, I'm straight away going to dive to the first question, that who are the women in your life and how do you encourage them?
Thank you so much, and absolutely a very good evening. To start to answer that question, let me first tell you that you're looking absolutely gorgeous in that sari.
Thank
And I
you.
always believe that sound is something which creates a strong presence for every woman. It's one of the most wonderful thing to wear, because the elegance that comes out in a sari cannot be matched by any other dress.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you.
So the woman that I would have in my life is almost like every other male. I have a mother, a sister, a wife, few friends who are around me, friends' daughters, and yeah, cousins. So all in all packed all around with women.
So that's really wonderful. And how do you actually encourage them to be what they are?
Rather than encouraging, give them the space that they want and give them the respect that they deserve. They will automatically be encouraged, because You cannot give false encouragement to people. Just give them the space and the respect. And I believe that works as magic, because most of the time we assume things and we take things for granted. Like she's always at home if there's a homemaker, or what else does she have to do? So when that kind of mindset comes into play, the respect goes out. The respect does not go out in words, but it goes out in feeling, and then eventually it appears in the emotions. So the minute you give them the respect and the space, I believe everything comes true.
Okay, so I would just like to ask you, when you mentioned that why to give them false encouragement. So when you say false encouragement, what exactly do you mean by that? Because don't you think at times words matter, and they do need a push at times? So
No, giving a push, motivating, inspiring, giving a hug, talking sweet words, supporting is different than false appreciation. So, what I meant by false is just empty. When I say empty, is you don't mean it, but you want to say it just because you have to. That's what I mean by false.
okay, okay, right. So it's like people do say, but when the time comes to actually let them do something, they back out. So they'll keep saying yes, yes.
No, no, I'm not talking about doing the work. I'm saying false encouragement, which means you don't mean it, but you say it.
Yes, that's
Like,
that.
let's say for a simple example, when I told you that you look gorgeous,
Okay,
I didn't mean to just flatter you or please you just because you're the host,
okay,
but I actually meant it. And
okay,
I meant it by saying a few more lines about how I believe that sari makes people, a woman, more gorgeous. So I could have said, hey, you look gorgeous. And it would have been just a transactional word, and that could have been a false praise for you.
okay, okay, right. So that's a perspective. So even what I was also talking about when you meant false, how did I perceive it as? For example, at times, because of the various backgrounds and upbringing and all that, people generally, men would say outside, oh, yes, I encourage my wife to work. I encourage her to do a lot of outside things. And when actually the time comes when she needs to step out or actually pick up a job, they give reasons or they don't support. So that is how I took it as maybe that also falls in a false bracket. I think I'll just start with that sentence what you mentioned. So as you appreciated me, now this thing is actually at workplace, if you see, because this also I'm talking majorly from, though the relationships and things are interlinked, but I'm talking from workplace arena. You see that man giving a compliment to a woman, or they're praising them. So why do you think that differences come when a female tries say that, okay, there are allegations, he's trying to flirt, or he's trying to do xyz thing? So how does that actually go, and what does actually the mentality of a man goes into it?
Uh, Rather than talking about the mentality of a man or a mentality of a woman, I would say it's all about intuition. Being surrounded with, women in different ways in my life, I say the intuitions that women have are way stronger, way clearer than others. So let's say we talk about appreciating someone in the workplace, talking about posh and other stuff in the place. It's all about how you say it, how you mean it, what are your facial expressions when you're telling or appreciating that. So it's more about intentions and intuition. So I believe women have the sense of, the intuition to define what is good and what is bad, because I've hold multiple posts in my office. I have been around with multiple women colleagues in my office. I have appreciated and commented them on how they look, how they've worked, or how they are behaving. But never have I encountered any issues, because the intentions are always good, the intentions are always clear. And when you say those sentences with respect, it shows in your eyes. So it's all about the intuition which women have and the intention which men have.
Okay, that's really great, because yes, in Posh also we see the intent is something which is clearly forced upon, or harped upon, I would say. So as your journey has progressed, as you mentioned, It's very, rather, I would say, unique or unusual when you mention that your journey has been from slums to VP. So, can you just, I mean, I would put it in two parts, the questions. Can you throw some light on that? And in that journey, have you encountered any such situations where you would see people, difference between behavioral aspects of man and women?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, my mom has been my powerhouse throughout my journey, where my dad has been supportive, but he's been supportive more as a silent supporter, where he wouldn't stop me from doing anything, where my mother would always stand beside me, give me that emotional support, give me that talk that will push me forward. So that is a difference between mom and dad, or you can put it as male and female. And talking about my journey, yeah, it's been from slums of Mumbai to being a person who goes to London with just 180 pounds in my pocket, worked as a bartender, litter picker, educator, and multiple jobs just under the sun to pay my tuition fees. And the turning point actually for me to go from slums to London was 26 July 2005 floods, which actually took away everything that we had in our house. And completely, I mean, I was completely shattered with nothing to do. Dad was not, in the right sense, because everything that he had curated or, got together in the house was blown out. And that's where mom was like standing strong. What happened? It's only floods. Everything is gone. No problem. At least we are all alive. We'll bring it back. So she's like charging up everyone. Of course, she's broken inside as well, but that's what she plays. I mean, she keeps charging everyone. So that's the difference that I see. And yeah, that's my journey in a very, very short. But yeah, if you want to read more about it, you can check out my book, At the Crossroads of Life. My whole journey is available there. So, just with the brevity of time, that's the shortest and the sweetest thing that I can explain of my journey and the woman in my life.
Wonderful. That's pretty inspiring, and I think I'm sure you must have encountered a number of challenges moving ahead. So, what do you think? Like, through this journey, any stereotypical males have you come across, and why do you think they behave the way they behave? Like when we say stereotypical, as in, women should not work after pregnancy, or if they are pregnant, they can't work for long hours or late nights, something like that. I mean, the stereotypes are there for certain reasons as well. So, have you encountered in your journey, and why do you think they think the way they do?
So, number one, yes, I've encountered stereotypes. It's not something new. Everybody encounters some kind of mindset, some kind of stereotypes. On the other hand, I don't blame them to be completely stereotypes. I actually would flip the coin in a way where things are misunderstood rather than saying stereotype, right? So let's talk about women working or not working. There is no harm in a woman working at all. Uh, the thing that I discussed with my wife when we were just about to get married was a beautiful thing that I said, I don't have a problem if you want to go and work. The only thing that we both committed to each other is someone will be at the home with the kids when they need, whenever they need. So, working outside for a man or a woman is not an issue. The thing is, if we are raising kids, if we are going to bring new life in this world, they are coming, their responsibility on us. If both the parents work outside and if the nanny is taking care of the kid, or if grandparents are taking care of the kid, or if the kids are being raised in a daycare, that's something which hurts me scientifically. Nothing to do with stereotype, because the emotional love that a child wants can only be received from parents. It can be a mother and a father. So I do cooking, I can clean up home, I know how to do dishes, I know how to do clothes, I know how to manage the whole house. So the condition I gave her is, you work outside, I stay at home and I enjoy it. If I'm working outside, you have to stay home and you have to enjoy. So it's not by compulsion, but it's by sharing care. And today that's what we do. I mean, initially for 5-7 years, she said, I'm not going out anywhere, I'm devoting my life here. Now she's going out for multiple things, and I have balanced my life in such a way that I work from home. and it's kind of a give and take. So that's how it should be. So not about being stereotyped, but it's all about creating the right balance and understanding. Second point, you talked about that women should not work in the night. Now that is because safety norms. Now let the girl go out and work in Dubai, nobody would touch her. But here, not taking places, not generalizing things, but there are some places in India where things have happened in the past, and there's a fear that if the lady goes out, people don't actually look up to them with eyes of respect. And when that mishap happens, something bad happens, that actually takes away the soul, the heart. So sometimes you feel insecure, and that is why those statements come out that you should not work out in the home. It's not about restricting or stereotypes. Understand what is going on in their mind, what is their fear, why are they telling like that. So just generalizing and stereotyping, I wouldn't say that.
Mm.
However, there are some people who are cutthroat stereotypes that हमारे घर की बेटियां तो काम नहीं करेगी. That is a different story altogether. I don't want to argue on that.
Yes. But again, I think the way you mentioned, it's like very few maybe households they would be balancing it in that fashion, because again, when we see most of the men, even I don't blame them. So most of the men had a very typical upbringing, or if we see our Indian backgrounds, maybe the parents are from rural areas. So, or not only rural, it could be urban also, but that mindset is there. And I'm not saying that women don't work, but then men contributing equally 100% is again a question mark even today. So what I would like to ask you is, what is that one message you would like to give to the teenagers, or and especially boys growing up, that how they can be, because as okay, this comes also in wake of when we say, you mentioned that if a girl goes out in the night and there is a fear, that means our society still has those people around, and they fall prey to it. The women fall prey to it, or even the men still have that mentality where they don't let go things. So is the ego still there? Is that big ego still there? And
Loaded.
okay,
I mean, it is there. But here,
and
can I share a small story? I don't know how it will be perceived, but it's something that I always believe in, and I always tell people around me. So the story goes very simple that in the olden days, you had kings and queen, right? The king would go out to fight with other people, expand the kingdom, but whom did the king trust to manage the fort? It was the lady in the house, the queen. So, who is actually more powerful? Is the king more powerful or the queen? It's the queen. I mean, I would put my wife, I would just tell her that you're the CEO of the house and I'm the worker, because you manage the house, you manage everything. I'm just the worker who is actually helping you to run a little part of the house. So, if all the men start thinking that way, do we actually need women empowerment? Now, this can be perceived in a completely different way that, oh, he's talking about making a girl work at home and giving it a nice story and packaging it in a different way. No, we can flip around. Mansi can go out and work and I can be the woman of the house. That's absolutely fine. That's not a big deal. The point here I'm telling is that someone has to guard the fort
work.
and someone can go out and expand the kingdom.
Absolutely.
Both of us going out and expanding the kingdom, the fort will be captured by the enemy. And that is where we see children falling prey of mobile phones, addictions, multiple other horrendous things. And then parents claim, oh, I never thought my child would be. You never gave time to your child. You were busy in your career. You were busy earning. You were busy doing multiple things. Then why do you blame your kids? So my most important point is not about man and a woman. It's about creating that harmony where you respect each other, let each other explore, and support each other in a way where your house is not compromised, your culture is not compromised, your values are not compromised. Anybody can go out and work. anybody can do anything and everything. But remember one thing, the amount of compassion that a mother has, a father can never bring that compassion in the house. The compassion that a woman has is absolutely at the highest level, because I know when I get a hug from my mom and similarly from my dad, I feel more comfortable when my mom gives it to me, because एक अलग एक अलग warmth होती है, mom, or for that matter even wife. Women are blessed, they are already empowered. You don't need to get empowered.
Agreed. And I think what you mentioned here is something very beautiful because I don't think it's the packaging, like as you said, that someone would say it's the packaging. I think because men already don't do that, they just feel कि घर पे है तो कुछ नहीं कर रही है. वो जो tag है ना, that tag needs to be first of all removed and understood that
Sorry to interrupt, but a message to all those men. 3 दिन 3 दिन घर मैनेज करके दिखा दो. Just manage the house for 3 days. I guarantee all the men who say that, what do you do at home? After the third day, they would never say that in their life. Trust me, just 3 days. Manage the house for 3 days. They will just shut them out for life.
So I think that's again wonderful way of putting it across because we don't like it's like you're not in those shoes, you haven't experienced it, and you just keep saying that it's easy or you are just there at home. So you put it very well that it's not about naming or packaging or something, it's about role reversals also at times. If you do those role reversals, you will very well know that who stands where. Yes, that again is another aspect to it. So what I would like you to moving towards the end of our conversation, I just want you to mention one point where you would like to highlight that when nowadays which is see a lot of things through Gen Z and the social media, AI, deep fake, so many things are coming up. So what is that one message you would give to especially to teenage boys vis-a-vis girls, and could be vice versa also? How can they think, what can they think, or what can they adapt to create a safe space for women around?
So I would rather expand that question and say safe space not only for women around, but also for men around. And I would say have as much fun as you want. Have as much musty that you want in your life. Just bear one thing in mind. Don't cross the line which you cannot reverse. That's my only message to everyone. Have as much fun, have as much thing that you want in your life. Just ensure that character assassination or line crossing is not done, because if you do that, lives are at stake.
I think that's beautifully put across what you mentioned because I think as teenagers it'll take them time to understand a lot of things, maybe a respect and trust, and these things also come as you grow, as you work around with people and multiple cultures and genders. But as you very beautifully said, that don't do something which is not reversible. That's a superb great message, I would say. And when you speak of character assassination, I think we have a very, very strong social media going around, astronomer case, which is going on.
And it happens both ways, right? It's all about men as well and women as well, where both of them can be at a stake and lives get destroyed. So just because you want to play that victim card on someone, do you even realize what you're doing for their life? What is happening in their life? I mean, you played your card, be it a boy or a girl, but the other end is going to suffer for life.
Very true. So I think, yes, who does what in their lives is their own perspective, but it should not harm anyone, and then it should not be, something which is, as you mentioned, non-reversible or that way. That's a very wonderful and beautiful message. So thank you so much, Sagar. I think you brought in a
My
lot of
pleasure.
fresh perspective and insights, and I loved talking to you. we'll catch up again, and all your social media links are shared in the description. So this is especially for the viewers. If you want to get in touch with Sagar, if you want to invite him, if you want to take training, coaching from him, please do get in touch with him. And he's an excellent, fabulous person, as I know him for some time, as you've already heard him. So thank you so much. Thanks a lot for being on the show, and
Thank you
absolute
so
pleasure.
much.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you.